Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a powerful new way of understanding our universe. We're going to explore a single repeating pattern that just might be the secret code behind everything, from the smallest particles to the entire cosmos. We're so used to seeing the world in pairs, right? Black and white, order and chaos, positive and negative. But what if that entire way of thinking is incomplete? What if any system built on just two opposing forces is actually doomed from the start? For centuries, we've leaned on these binaries, these pairs of opposites. But there's a fundamental problem here. See, pure order can't change. It's just frozen. And pure chaos, well, that's just a destructive mess. Neither one, on its own, can create something that's both stable and able to evolve. Think about it. A system with only a positive and a negative pole is always going to be in trouble. It'll either lock up solid or just fly apart. It's missing a key ingredient for sustainable growth. And this is the exact problem that the Triadic model, based on the work of researcher Kevin L. Brown, sets out to solve. So if 2 doesn't work, what does? Well, the answer seems to be 3. The idea here is that every single stable, evolving system in the universe is built on a 3-part structure, a triad. This 1-2-3 setup is what allows things to be both stable and dynamic at the same time. Okay, let's break down how that works. Every stable system has to have a dense core. You can think of this as the anchor. It provides the mass, the stability. It gives the system its fundamental identity. The core is the unshakable center that basically defines what the system is. Next up is the neutral space. Now, this part is absolutely crucial, and it's the one we almost always overlook. It's like a bridge or a buffer. It connects the other parts and absorbs shocks and stress, all without taking a side. It's what keeps the whole thing from shattering under pressure. And third, you've got the fast-moving perimeter. This is the explorer, the dynamic edge of the system. This is the part that interacts with the outside world. It creates the friction that drives all change, all evolution. Seriously, without this perimeter, nothing would ever grow or adapt. Now, here's where it gets really mind-blowing. This 3-part structure isn't just some abstract concept. It's a fractal pattern. That means you can see this exact same 1-2-3 dynamic at every single scale of reality. Let's look at a few examples. We'll start at the smallest level, the atom. The dense core here is the proton. Its mass and its charge literally define the element's identity. A carbon atom is carbon because of its protons. Simple as that. So what's the neutral space? The neutron. It has mass but no charge. Its entire job is to be the buffer, the nuclear glue that keeps all those positively charged protons from flying apart. It is pure, stabilizing neutrality in action. And the fast-moving perimeter? Of course, that's the electron. It's whizzing around out there, interacting with everything else. The entire field of chemistry, every single reaction and bond, it all happens because of the electron. Okay, now let's scale way, way up to human civilization. In a society, the dense core is made up of our builders and our institutions. These are the structures and the people that preserve our core values and provide that stable foundation we all rely on. The neutral space is filled by people like mediators, scientists, and objective observers. Their role is to absorb social shocks, connect opposing sides, and gather information without bias. They're what keeps a society from just breaking apart into polarized camps. And who's on the fast-moving perimeter? Our innovators, our artists, our disruptors. They're the ones on the edge, pushing boundaries, challenging how things are done, and forcing our culture and our technology to evolve. Let's go even bigger, the solar system. The dense core here is unmistakable. It's the sun. It contains 99.8% of all the mass in the entire system. Its gravity is the anchor that locks everything into place. The neutral space in our solar system is so cool. It's not empty. It's places like the asteroid belt, which acts as this giant orbital buffer zone. It separates the inner rocky planets from the outer gas giants, and that separation helps stabilize the whole system. Finally, the system's perimeter is made of comets and other objects way out in the Oort cloud. These are the fast-moving wild cards. They swoop in, they shake things up, and they introduce new materials, like water and organic molecules, that drive change from the outside in. And this pattern just keeps on going. Look at this table. The model applies across at least 9 documented scales of reality, from the quantum forces that hold particles together, to life itself with its DNA core, all the way up to the cosmic web. At every single level, the same 1, 2, 3 structure just shows up again and again. So what are we supposed to do with this information? What does it all mean? Well, if reality is truly built on this repeating triadic code, the implications are absolutely massive. This isn't just another theory, it's a completely new lens to see the world through. First off, it means that neutral space isn't just helpful, it's non-negotiable for a healthy system. It suggests that the behavior of a galaxy might be predictable by studying an atom. It reframes conflict, not as a flaw, but as the very engine of evolution. And maybe most radically, it hints that consciousness itself might be a fundamental feature of this structure. Let's really stick with that idea of conflict for a second. We spend so much energy trying to eliminate friction, but this model says that's a huge mistake. That tension, the friction between the stable core and the fast-moving perimeter, that's what creates everything new. That's what drives evolution forward. Friction isn't the problem, the lack of a neutral space to mediate it is. And here's the really important part. This isn't just some nice-sounding philosophy. It is a scientific hypothesis. And that means it has to be testable. It has to be falsifiable. We need to be able to prove it wrong. And the test is actually very simple. The entire model is proven false if we can find just one single example of a stable, evolving system that works on only 2 nodes without any kind of neutral mediator. But so far, across all 9 observed scales, the evidence says it holds true. So this leaves us with one last big thought. If this 1, 2, 3 pattern really is the universe's fundamental code for creating stable, evolving systems, what does that mean for us? From our own relationships to the way we build our societies, what could we create differently if we all started designing with 3?